Experience for him as it is for all. And here she is. How about a big, loud welcome for Amali? Now, Marley's out here with her trainer, Michelle, and Jose and Jacob are going to be joining us. This is where you fit in to start things off. If Marley touches her nose against that pink flower, we want you guys to really go crazy for her. And it's only that shape, the pink flower that Jose is holding. Jake's going to join us and also offer another shape as well. Here she goes. Oh! And as the guys say, slay, she is off to a flying start. What a winner. Now, watch what we do. We're going to exchange the shapes because Amali has to understand that in this case, at the sound of a whistle being blown twice, it's her shape that she has to look for. This is called shape discrimination. All of our seals at Taronga have a shape that is unique to them. All the other shapes here belong to other seals. If we've got all of the animals in the water together, a whistle is blown twice. They swim up and down to try and find their own shape. Oh, close one. Because the biggest and most dominant seal will always try and get all the fish. So this is how we separate them nice and safely. She's done really well for Michelle. She's absolutely beautiful. That coloration is unique to female and juvenile Australian sea lions. That's Amali, obviously with his best friend. And his name is Murphy. Why don't we give Murphy and his trainer Jake a big round of applause and welcome. Now he's got a big bump on the top of his head. That's called a sagittal crest. That tells us that he's a mature bull. But Jacob and I and you all have something in common with Murphy. Have a look at your hand. Now take a look at Murphy's front flipper. Because underneath that skin that Jacob's showing us there is exactly the same bone structure that we have in our hands. And that allows seals to get around on land much quicker than you might expect. Just like that. And of course they use their front flippers when they're in the water to swim. And there's a great deal of power there too. That's pretty cool, isn't it? That's a natural behaviour. It's known as porpoising. Porpoising allows air-breathing animals that live in the oceans to take a quick breath of air and still travel long distances without stopping. You may even hear him taking a quick breath, just like that. Other animals that use this method include dolphins, porpoises, small whales, and also penguins too. Those animals are really efficient hunters, the ones that I just mentioned, and they share the oceans with another efficient hunter too. You wouldn't believe that he's a hunter. He sits really well with Jacob just there. They've got a really good relationship. But what he's demonstrating here is another animal that's completely misunderstood. Yell it out, kids. You got it. That's a cool shark, right? Seals sometimes need to cool down, and they overheat even when they're in the water. They're covered in thick fur coats. So to cool down, they put the hairless part of the body, which is the flipper above the water. That was allowing the heat to escape through there. And in Murphy's case, his flippers are good for showing us just how strong these guys really are. Wow, he's really quick and efficient in everyone. He's over 20 years of age, and that's Murphy. Guys, how about we say hi to Pepper? Now, it's only the Californian sea lions like Pepper and Murphy that have that loud, sharp bark. But today, Pepper and Michelle are going to show us the life of a seal, including a lot of behaviours seen in the wild. That's a cool handstand, but what he's in fact doing is cooling off, like Murphy was doing earlier, putting his flippers above the water. They can rest out in the oceans, they can be out there for days, but it's on land where seals do get their best rest, usually in busy seal colonies, where you have to watch your back and keep your eyes open at all times. You just see how flexible Pepper is in his chest and his vertebra, allowing those things to occur, because they need to bend around. On their rear flippers, they have 3 nails or claws that, when exposed, can act like a built-in brush. Pretty soon, they're like you kids. You'll change into your winter school uniform. What these guys do is molt. They discard their old fur to grow back new fur, keeping them nice and healthy at all times as well. Now, we use our face washes to clean around our face. They use their front flippers in a similar fashion, just as Pepper was doing right there. Now, by porpoising, we can see just how fast seals can actually go. They can get up a great deal of speed, which sometimes they need to track down their prey. Seals are very opportunistic hunters and very clever and curious as well. A seal, just like Pepper at times, would have no problem at all catching up to a fishing boat or a trawler. Now, that's where the danger sets in. As we know, at the back of a fishing boat, quite often are nets, and inside the nets are fish. So an opportunistic hunter just like Pepper may come up, and this has been observed out there in the wild, where a seal will tear off a piece of netting, and by doing this, or today, letting our audience, but thrashing around a piece of net like that may give an animal just like a seal a free feed by shaking those fish free. What he's done, however, is turned that piece of netting into a dangerous piece of marine debris. Caught around his neck, it won't grow with him, it will become embedded there, and that leads to a sad ending. Life for a seal in the wild isn't always easy, and human impact is one of their biggest challenges. I think he's doing pretty well so far though. What do you think? You may have noticed today just how good our seals are at catching the fish that are thrown to them. That's because their sensitive whiskers help with the sense of touch. Why don't we have a better look? On the count of 3, we want you all. You can hang on to that. Thanks, Hayley. Michelle will get Pepper back. And that's a really good throw, Michelle. Usually she's spot on, but that went through the whiskers. On the count of 3, we want you all to yell whiskers and then stare at Pepper's face. 1, 2, 3. Just then, Pepper lifted his whiskers up for you, because on the end of every whisker is a fine nerve ending. In the wild, seals will move their whiskers up like that, and they're so sensitive there, they can detect the movement made by fish, allowing an animal like a seal to feed even at night time. And on an average day, he would eat around 10 to 12 kilos of fish. That's 2 of those buckets. But what happens when those buckets run out? Well, Pepper is going to join his best friend Michelle down by the edge of the water. And together they're going to have a look into the water and see if they can see any fish there. Oh, that's a good look. Anything there, Pep? No. But sadly, that's the case for a lot of Pepper's wild cousins. Over the last couple of decades, we've been overfishing our oceans in many parts of the world, making it hard for a lot of wild marine animals to find their food. But there's a choice that we can make which really does make a difference. When you're next looking for seafood to purchase, look for that symbol just there. That blue and white tick comes from the MSC, Marine Stewardship Council. Choosing seafood marked with that symbol means you protect fish stocks, jobs and the environment simply by choosing sustainable seafood, keeping someone like Pepper a lot happier, as you can see, for a lot longer. That's a really cool seal. That's Pepper, everyone. Of course, providing the animals with food, water, as much as he does as well. But it comes with a warning. People who are seated down the front are really likely to get wet. And that's... How about a big hi for Cisco? People at the back, do you want these guys down here wet? All right, okay, well, he's coming your way first. So Michelle's putting a target out for him. He's going to aim for that, and... Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you to keep your mouth closed. In the middle, you're up for it next, so get ready. Wherever Michelle puts that target, it's coming your way. Oh no. We've got one little baby crying, a kind of baptism down the front. We think that Cisco recognises the screams from the audience as a bit of fun as well, so we find this more fun for him than it is for anyone else. Alright, ready again? And that was just a false alarm. Sorry, Michelle, I'm right behind you. And everyone, that's Cisco. Thanks, Cisco. Thanks, Jacob. How's the little one? Now, we'll find a lot of things enriching at the zoo, and really different. And he's only a couple of years older than Amali. He's another Australian sea lion. Now he's maturing, so he's not quite there, and he sits a little low on the hierarchy. So I've just got to be careful about the way in which we manage our population of seals, particularly our males, where they can get a little bit competitive with each other. So his name is Storm. He came to us from the pet porpoise pool at Coffs Harbour. Bornean sea lions that people think make that sound, they think that all species of seals make a sound just like that. As Storm gets older, he'll get a lovely... Australian sea lion males take over an area of the beach. They become known as the beach master. They jealously protect that area of the beach against any other males that are there. Any females that happen to be in that vicinity become part of that breeding group. A big bull seal having a harem is actually incorrect and a bit of a myth. The way in which the gene is spread nice and healthily amongst populations is that those girls are free to come and go wherever they like, but the male will usually just sit in that area. Just to remain seated, just so that Storm doesn't get distracted by too many movements. A lot of people actually ask us what the difference is between seals and true seals, which are elephant seals and leopard seals. They bounce around on their bellies. But he's done pretty well by getting around on all fours. Everyone, that's Storm.